The meeting room on Galactic Station Alpha buzzed with angry voices. Ambassador Dongho sat quietly in his chair, watching the other species argue about war. His dark eyes moved from one alien to another, taking in every word. He looked calm, almost bored, but inside he was counting threats, counting weaknesses, counting the number of ways each species could be destroyed. The Vorthek have taken 3 more systems. General Zilthek slammed his 4-clawed hand on the metal table. The tall, blue-skinned warrior's eyes glowed red with fury. They grow stronger every day while we sit here talking. Dongho nodded slowly. Perhaps we should try talking to them. Again, he said in his soft voice. War brings only death and pain. The other aliens turned to look at him. Some rolled their eyes. Others made sounds of disgust. After 50 years, they all knew what the human would say. Always the same thing. Always peace, always talk more. Talk? Nethric's ambassador Veltar's tentacles writhed with anger. The gray creature's large black eyes fixed on Dongho. They killed 10,000 of my people last month. They turned our colony world into ash, and you want to talk? Dongho's face showed. Nothing. I'm sorry for your loss, he said. But more violence will only create more pain. Surely we can find another way. Commander Haijin, the human military advisor, sat beside Dongho. She was a small woman with short black hair and quick eyes. She looked down at her tablet and said nothing. The aliens thought she was weak too. They were wrong about that. They were wrong about many things. The humans have been saying this for 50 years, growled Korthax, the Vorthek representative. He was the only one of his kind allowed in the council. His people were at war with everyone else, but they still had to follow some rules. Always. Peace, always talk. Maybe that is why your people are so weak. Dongho smiled a little. It was not a happy smile. We prefer to solve problems without killing, he said. It is our way, Korthax laughed. It was a horrible sound like metal scraping on stone. Your way? You mean hiding behind others. You mean letting stronger species protect you. The humans make good medicine, said Veltar. They build nice things. They are useful, but they are not warriors. They are too soft, agreed Zilthek. In our culture, weakness is death. How did humans ever survive long enough to reach the stars? Dongho kept his smile. We are very lucky, he said. Other species have been kind to us. The meeting went on for 3 hours. The aliens argued about what to do with the Vorthek. Some wanted to attack them. Others wanted to build bigger defenses. They all looked to the humans for support, but not for fighting. Never for fighting? Finally, the meeting ended. The aliens left in small groups, still arguing. Dongho and Haijin walked slowly back to their quarters. They said nothing until they were alone. How much longer? Haijin asked quietly. Soon, Dongho replied. They are almost ready to move on the frontier colonies. And our people there? They know what to do. They have been ready for years. Haijin nodded. She touched her tablet and sent a message to Earth, just 3 words, Phase 2 active. Far from the space station, on the human colony world of New Bizan, Taemin was putting his daughter to bed. Nayun was 7 years old, with bright eyes and a quick smile. She loved stories about brave heroes and amazing adventures. Tell me about the old days, Papa, she said, when humans lived on only one world. Taemin sat on her bed and brushed her black hair. Long ago, humans lived on a planet called Earth. It was beautiful with blue oceans and green forests. But it was also dangerous. Many terrible things happened there. What kind of terrible things? Wars, Taemin said softly. Humans fought each other for thousands of years. They learned to be very good at fighting. Too good, maybe. But we don't fight anymore, Nayun said. Teacher So Young says humans are peaceful now. Taemin's wife So Young stood in the doorway. She was a teacher at the colony school. She taught 300 children every day, including 50 young aliens whose families had come to live with humans. Everyone said human worlds were the safest places in the galaxy. That is right, So Young said. We learned that fighting is wrong. We found better ways to solve problems, Nayun yawned. I want to be a peacemaker like Ambassador Dongho when I grow up. Maybe you will, Taemin said. He kissed her forehead. Sleep now, little one. He turned off the lights and left the room with his wife. Outside, the stars shone down on the colony. New Bizen was home to 50,000 humans. Most worked in the farms or the factories. Some were teachers or doctors. A few were soldiers, but they only had basic weapons and old ships. Everyone knew humans were not good at fighting. The children seem happy, So Young said as they walked to their own bedroom. They should be, Taemin replied. They are safe here. But even as he said it, Taemin looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, Vorthak ships were moving. Intelligence reports said they were coming this way. The colony's defenses looked weak. The humans seemed helpless. It was all part of the plan. On the hidden moon base near Saturn, Commander Jae-sung watched the same stars. His base was invisible to all sensors. It had been built in secret over 30 years. Inside, 500 of humanity's best soldiers waited. They had weapons that could destroy planets. They had ships that could appear and disappear like ghosts. Sir, said Captain Mireille, his science officer, long-range sensors show Vorthak fleet movement. They are heading for the frontier colonies. How long? Jae-sung asked. 72 hours to reach New Bizen. Jae-sung nodded. Signal all units. Prepare for Operation Cerberus, but do nothing until they cross the line. What line, sir? Jae-sung's eyes were cold as space. They will know when they cross it. The galaxy thought humans were weak. They thought humans were peaceful. They thought humans could not fight. They were about to learn how wrong they were, but first, the Vorthak would have to make one very big mistake. They would have to threaten human children, and when that happened, the galaxy would see what humans really were. Not the peaceful diplomats they pretended to be. Not the weak species that hid behind others. They would see the species that had survived 10,000 years of war on a death world. They would see the species that had conquered their own planet. Before reaching for the stars, they would see humanity's true face, and they would be afraid. 3 days after the council meeting, the Vorthak war fleet moved closer to human space. On their flagship, General Korthax studied the star maps with his officers. The human colonies looked so weak, so easy to take. Look at this, Korthax pointed at the display with his clawed finger. New Bizen has only basic shields. Their weapons are 50 years old. They have maybe 20 small ships to defend the whole planet. Commander Vexstar, his second-in-command, made a growling sound. It seems too easy, General. Why would they leave themselves so open? Because they are weak, Korthax replied. They think their friends will protect them. But their friends are busy fighting real enemies. The humans will be alone. The Vorthak had been watching human colonies for months. Every scout report said the same thing. Poor defenses. Old weapons, no real military. The humans seemed to spend all their time growing food and making art. They were like children playing at being adults. How many humans live on New Bizen? Asked another officer. 50,000, Korthax said, including 12,000 young ones. We will take them all. As slaves, the young ones will work in our mines. The bridge filled with harsh laughter. Taking human slaves would send a message to the galaxy. It would show that the Vorthak were not afraid of anyone, not even the species that everyone called the peacemakers. Far away on the hidden base near Saturn, Commander Jae-sung watched the Vorthak fleet on his screens. His officers stood around him in the dark control room. The base was buried deep inside a moon that looked dead from the outside. No one knew it was there. They are moving exactly as we predicted, said Captain Mireille. She was young but very smart. Her job was to study alien technology and find ways to destroy it. 57 ships, all their newest designs. And our fleet? Jae-sung asked. Ready, sir. 200 ships in phase space. They can appear anywhere in 30 seconds. Intelligence Officer Wu Jin stepped forward. He was a thin man with sharp eyes. Sir, we have been listening to their communications. They plan to attack the civilians first. They want to take prisoners. Jae-sung's face grew cold. Prisoners? Yes. Sir, especially the children. They want to use them as slaves. The room became very quiet. Every officer knew what that meant. The Vorthak were about to cross the line that must never be crossed. Continue monitoring, Jae-sung said, but do nothing yet. We must wait for the right moment. Sir, Mireille said carefully, the people on New Bizin do not know what is coming. Should we warn them? They know, Jae-sung replied. They have always known. Every human colony has been ready for this day. On New Bizin, life seemed normal. Children played in the parks. Adults worked in the fields. The sun shone down on the peaceful world. But in the colony's command center, things were different. Colonel Hyun-woo sat at his desk, reading reports. He was the colony's military commander, but most people thought he was just a security officer. His uniform was simple. His office was small. He looked like someone who checked doors and made sure the lights worked, but the reports he was reading were not about doors or lights. They were about weapons. Secret weapons hidden under the colony. Weapons that could destroy entire fleets. Sir, said Lieutenant Jin-ae, his aide, the children's evacuation drill is scheduled for tomorrow. Should we continue? Yes, Hyun-woo. Saad, make sure every child knows where to go. Make sure every teacher knows the signals. And the parents? They will be told when the time comes. Not before, Jin-ae nodded. She had been on New Bizan for 5 years. She knew the colony had secrets. All human colonies did. But she also knew that asking too many questions was dangerous. In the colony school, So Young was teaching her class about Earth's history. 25 human children and 5 alien children sat at their desks, listening to stories about the old world. Long ago, So Young said, humans lived in tribes. They had to fight dangerous animals and harsh weather. They learned to work together. To survive, a young Zilani girl raised her hand. Teacher So Young, why did humans stop fighting? My parents say humans used to be very good at war. So Young smiled. We learned that fighting hurt everyone. We found better ways to solve problems. Now we help others instead of hurting them. Na Yun, Taemin's daughter, raised her hand. But what if someone tries to hurt us? What if they do not want to talk? The room became quiet. Even the alien children seemed interested in the answer. That will never happen, So Young said gently. We live in a peaceful galaxy now. Everyone follows the rules. But as she spoke, So Young touched a small device on her wrist. It was connected to the colony's emergency system. If danger came, she would know about it first. She would have exactly 90 seconds to get all the children to safety. That night, Taemin came home from work looking worried. He worked at the colony's main factory, but his real job was something else. Something his wife and daughter could never know about. Long day? So Young asked as he sat down for dinner. Yes, Taemin said. The machines need more work than usual. It was not true. The machines were fine. But the weapons hidden under the factory needed constant care. Quantum cannons required perfect maintenance. One small mistake could destroy half the colony. Papa, Nayun said, why do you look sad? Taemin forced a smile. I'm just tired, little one. Nothing for you to worry about. But he was worried. The sensors had detected the Vorthak fleet. They were coming fast. In 2 days, maybe less, they would arrive. And when they did, everything would change. Back on the space station, Ambassador Dong-ho was having dinner with the other council members. They were celebrating the opening of a new trade route. Everyone seemed happy and relaxed. The humans make the best food, said Veltar, trying a piece of Korean barbecue. You should open restaurants on every world. We are honored that you enjoy it, Dong-ho replied politely. Tell me, said General Zilthik, what will your people do when the Vorthak attack your colonies? Will you ask us for help? Dong-ho set down his chopsticks. We hope it will not come to that. Perhaps the Vorthak will see reason. They never see reason, Zilthik said. They only understand strength, and your people have no strength. Perhaps, Dong-ho said quietly, we shall see. But as he spoke, Dong-ho was thinking about the hidden fleets, the secret weapons, the soldiers. who had been training for 50 years. The galaxy thought humans were weak. Soon, they would learn the truth. The Vorthak were coming. They thought they were hunting sheep. They were about to discover they were hunting wolves, very hungry wolves, who had been hiding their teeth for a very long time. And when those teeth came out, the galaxy would never be the same again. The attack came at dawn. Nayun was eating breakfast when the sirens started. She had heard them before during drills, but this sound was different, more urgent, more frightening. "Mama," she said, looking at So Young with wide eyes. "What is that noise?" So Young felt her heart stop. The device on her wrist was flashing red. This was not a drill. This was real. "Put on your shoes, quickly," So Young said, trying to keep her voice calm. "We need to go to school early today." "But I have not finished eating. Now, Nayun." The little girl had never heard her mother use that tone. She grabbed her shoes and ran to the door. Outside, the streets of New Bizan were filled with people. Parents were taking their children to the schools. Adults were heading to work. Everyone moved quickly but quietly. They had practiced this many times. At the school, So Young joined the other teachers. They were getting all the children into the underground rooms. The alien children looked scared and confused. The human children looked scared too, but they knew what to do. "What is happening?" asked Kira, a young Zilani girl. "Just a safety drill," So Young said. "We will be safe down here." But through the windows she could see the sky. Dark shapes were moving between the clouds, enemy ships. Lots of them. In the colony command center, Colonel Hyan Wu watched the screens. 57 Vorthak ships had appeared around New Bizan. They were big and ugly, covered in spikes and weapons. They looked like metal monsters. "Sir," said Lieutenant Jene, "they are sending a message." "Put it on screen." General Korthax's face appeared on the display. His yellow eyes glowed with cruel pleasure. "Humans of New Bizan," he said in his rough voice, "you will surrender now. Lower your shields, shut down your weapons. We will take what we want and leave." Hyan Wu touched a button. "This is Colonel Hyan Wu. We are a peaceful colony. We have no weapons. Please do not hurt our people," Korthax laughed. "We will not hurt you if you obey, but we will take some of your people with us, especially the young ones. They will work for us." "Please," Hyan Wu sighed, making his voice sound weak and afraid. "The children have done nothing wrong." "The children are valuable," Korthax replied. "They are small and quick, perfect for mining work. Do not worry. We will feed them enough to keep them alive." The transmission ended. Hyan Wu's hands shook, but not from fear, from rage. "Sir," Janae said quietly, "they want to take the children." "I heard." Hyan Wu's voice was very cold. "Signal Earth, tell them the line has been crossed. Use code black." Janae's face went pale. Code black meant only one thing. The enemy had threatened human children. All rules were now gone. Above the planet, the Vorthak ships moved into position. They had done this many times before. First, they would destroy the colony's defenses. Then they would land and take what they wanted. The humans would be too scared to fight back. "Target their shield generators," Korthax ordered. "But do not destroy the schools or the residential areas. We need the children alive." Red beams shot down from the Vorthak ships. The colony's shields flickered and died. The few defensive guns the humans had were destroyed in seconds. It was exactly what the Vorthak had expected. "Too easy," laughed Commander Vextar. "These humans are even weaker than we thought." "Begin the landing," Korthax said. "Take the children first. They are the most valuable." 20 landing ships dropped from the main fleet. They were filled with Vorthak soldiers in black armor. Each soldier carried weapons that could kill a human in one shot. They expected no resistance. The landing ships crashed into the colonies. Main square, Vorthak soldiers poured out, their weapons ready. But the streets were empty. The humans had all disappeared. "Where are they?" asked the soldier. "Check the schools," ordered their captain. "That is where they keep the young ones." The soldiers marched toward the school where So Young was hiding with the children. They kicked down the doors and searched every room. But they found nothing. The building was empty. They must be in the basements, the captain said. Find the entrance. It took them 10 minutes to find the hidden door. When they broke it open, they found the underground shelter. 300 children were there, along with their teachers. Human children and alien children all huddled together in fear. Perfect, the captain said. Take them all. The young ones are worth more, but we can use the adults too. The Vorthok soldiers moved into the shelter. They grabbed the children roughly, ignoring their cries. Some children tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. Na-Yun was hiding behind So Young when a soldier reached for her. "Mama," she cried, "I am scared." "It will be okay," So Young said, holding the little girl tight. "Someone will help us." But the Vorthok soldier laughed. "No one will help you. Your people are too weak to fight." He grabbed Na-Yun and pulled her. Away from So Young, the little girl screamed. Other children were screaming too. The sound filled the underground room like a nightmare. "Stop!" So Young shouted. "She is just a child." The soldier hit So Young with his weapon. She fell to the ground, bleeding. Na-Yun screamed louder and tried to run back to her mother. "Quiet!" the soldier yelled. He raised his weapon to hit the child. That was when Temin arrived. He had been working in the weapons facility under the factory. When he heard the children were in danger, he ran to the school. He was too late to stop the soldiers from getting inside. But he was not too late to see what they were doing to his daughter. Tae-Min saw the Vorthok soldier raising his weapon toward Na-Yun. He saw his wife bleeding on the ground. He saw 300 children crying in terror. Something broke inside him, something that had been holding back 50 years of hidden rage. "Get away from my daughter," Tae-Min said. His voice was very quiet. But there was something in it that made the Vorthok soldier step back, something dangerous. "You are too late." "Human," the soldier said. "We have already won." Tae-Min looked around the room, at the crying children, at the laughing soldiers, at his bleeding wife and terrified daughter. "No," he said, "you have not won. You have made a mistake, a very big mistake." He touched a device. On his belt, it sent a signal to the hidden command center. The signal said 3 words: "Children under attack." Colonel Hyun-woo received the message. His face became like stone. He turned to Jin-ae and said, "Send the signal to Earth. Tell them the Vorthok have crossed the line. Tell them to release the fleet." "Sir?" Jin-ae said. "What about the colony's defenses?" "Activate everything," Hyun-woo said. "No more hiding. No more pretending. Show them what we really are." Across the galaxy on the hidden base near Saturn, Commander Jae-sung received the message. He read it twice to make sure he understood. "Sir," Captain Mirai said, "new orders from Earth. We are authorized to use all weapons, no restrictions." Jae-sung stood up. Around him, his officers waited for orders. These were not the peaceful humans the galaxy knew. These were warriors who had been waiting 50 years for this moment. "Signal all ships," Jae-sung said. "We are going to war. Target every Vorthok ship in the galaxy. Rules of engagement: total destruction." He paused, thinking of the children crying in the underground shelter. "And send a message to the Galactic Council. Tell them the age of human patience is over." The line had been crossed. The children were in danger. Now the galaxy would see what humans really were when someone threatened their young, and it would be terrible. The emergency session of the Galactic Council began 2 hours after the attack on New Bizan. Representatives from every major species rushed to the meeting room on Alpha Station. They had all heard the reports. The Vorthok had attacked a human colony. The humans had surrendered without fighting. It was exactly what everyone expected. General Zilthik entered the chamber first, his blue skin darker than usual. He was followed by Ambassador Veltar, whose tentacles moved nervously. Other representatives filed in, talking in low voices. They all seemed concerned but not surprised. "Where is the human?" asked Counselor Nexhai, a tall being with gray skin and large eyes. "Coming," replied Veltar. Ambassador Dongho requested this emergency session. "He should be here soon." The chamber doors opened. Ambassador Dongho walked in, followed by Commander Haijin. But something was different. Dong Ho's usual calm smile was gone. His dark eyes were cold and hard. He moved like a predator, not a diplomat. Haijin looked different too. Her hands rested on her belt, near weapons that had never been there before. She stood behind Dong Ho like a bodyguard, not an advisor. "Thank you all for coming," Dong Ho said as he took his seat. His voice was different, colder, dangerous. "We are sorry for your loss," said General Zilfek. "The attack on New Bazen was unfortunate. But we warned you this would happen. The Vorthak do not respect weakness." "Yes," agreed Veltar. "Perhaps now you will ask for proper protection. We can station warships in your space." "That will not be necessary," Dong Ho replied quietly. Korthax, the Vorthak representative, leaned forward in his chair. He was smiling, showing his sharp teeth. "The humans have learned an important lesson today. The galaxy is not safe for the weak." "Indeed," Dong Ho said. "We have learned many things today." "Your colony surrendered quickly," Korthax continued. "Very wise. My people took only what they needed. The children will be useful workers." The chamber became very quiet. Everyone was looking at Dong Ho, waiting for his response. They expected him to ask for help, to beg for mercy, to do what humans always did. Instead, Dong Ho smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Children," he said slowly. "You took our children." "Yes," Korthax said proudly. 347 of them. They are already on their way to our mining worlds. The small ones will work in the narrow tunnels." Dong Ho's smile grew wider. Around the chamber, other representatives shifted uncomfortably. Something was wrong. This was not how humans usually acted. "I see," Dong Ho said. "And you believe this was wise?" "Of course," Korthax replied. "Children are valuable. They work hard and eat little. Your people should be honored that we found them useful." "Honored." Dong Ho repeated the word like he was tasting something bitter. "Yes, we are honored." He stood up slowly. Every eye in the chamber followed him. When he spoke again, his voice was very quiet, but somehow everyone could hear every word. "For 50 years, Dong Ho said, humanity has been a member of this council. For 50 years, we have advocated for peace. For 50 years, we have believed that even the most violent species could learn to be civilized." He paused, looking around the chamber. His eyes stopped on each representative. "We were wrong." General Zilfik frowned. "What do you mean?" "We believed that if we showed patience, if we demonstrated that conflicts could be resolved without violence, that others would follow our example. We thought that by appearing weak, we could teach strength." Dong Ho's voice grew colder with each word. "We were fools." Ambassador Veltara's tentacles writhed nervously. "Dong Ho, you are upset. This is understandable, but we can help you rebuild." "Rebuild?" Dong Ho turned to face him. "You think we need to rebuild?" "Your colony was destroyed," Veltar said. "Your people were taken. You have lost everything." "Have we?" Dong Ho asked. "Commander Haijin, please show our friends the latest reports from New Bazen." Haijin stepped forward and activated a holographic display. Images appeared in the air. Above the table, they showed the colony from space. But it was not destroyed. The buildings were intact. The shields were working, and there were ships in orbit, lots of ships. "This is impossible," Korthax snarled. "My fleet destroyed your defenses." "Your fleet destroyed decoy generators," Dong Ho replied calmly. "The real defenses were never activated. We wanted you to think you had won, but my soldiers took the children." "Your soldiers took some children, yes, but not all of them." "And Not for long. The display changed. Now it showed the underground shelter. But it was empty. No children, no teachers. "No Vorthak soldiers. Where are they?" Korthax demanded. "Safe," Dong Ho said. "Your soldiers are dead. The children are back with their families." "And your ships?" "Well, let us just say they will not be leaving New Bazen." The chamber erupted in confused voices. This was not possible. The humans were weak. They had no real military. They could not fight. Silence. Dong Ho's voice cut through the noise like a blade. The chamber became quiet. Instantly. You want to know what happened to the Vorthak fleet? Dong-ho continued. They discovered that human colonies are not as defenseless as they appear. They learned that our old weapons were not old at all. They found out that we have been preparing for this day for 50 years. He activated his own display. New images appeared. They showed Vorthak ships burning in space. They showed human warships appearing from nowhere. They showed weapons that should not exist. In the past 4 hours, Dong-ho said, 17 Vorthak fleets have been destroyed. Not defeated, destroyed, completely, no survivors. Korthak stood up, his claws extended. You lie, humans cannot fight. You are weak, are we? Dong-ho asked. Commander Haijin, please contact Admiral Kyung-soo. A new face appeared on the display. A human military officer with cold eyes and a stern expression. Admiral, Dong-ho said, please report on the current status of Vorthak military forces. 93% destroyed, Admiral Kyung-soo replied. Remaining forces are surrendering or fleeing. Total human casualties, 0. The chamber was silent. Every representative stared at the display in shock. But how? Whispered General Zilthek. We have seen your ships, we know your weapons. You do not have this technology. You have seen what we wanted you to see, Dong-ho replied. For 50 years we have hidden our true capabilities. We hoped we would never need to use them. Why? Asked Veltar. Why hide your strength? Because we remember what we were, Dong-ho said quietly. Before we reached the stars, humans fought each other for 10,000 years. We were very good at it. Too good, we destroyed our own world twice before we learned to work together. He paused, looking around the chamber. We came to the stars hoping to find a better way. We thought we could build a civilization where strength was not needed, where children could grow up without fear. His eyes found Korthak's. You have shown us that we were wrong. You have reminded us what we really are. And what is that? Korthak's asked, his voice shaking. Dong-ho's smile returned, cold and terrible. We are the species that conquered a death world. We are the species that survived 10,000 years of war. We are the species that learned to kill so efficiently that we had to stop ourselves. He leaned forward. We are humanity. And you just threatened our children. The chamber fell silent. Outside, through the windows, they could see human warships appearing around the station. Ships that had not been there moments before. What do you want? General Zilthek asked quietly. New rules, Dong-ho replied. Rules that will protect all children. Rules that will prevent what happened today from ever happening again. And if we refuse? Dong-ho's smile grew wider. Then you will learn what happens when you make humanity angry. The age of human patience was over. The mask had fallen. Now, the galaxy would see what humans really were, and they would be afraid. Admiral Kyung-soo stood on the bridge of the human flagship Righteous Fury. Around him, 200 human warships hung in the darkness of space like sleeping dragons. They had been waiting in phase space for 50 years. Now it was time to wake. UP, sir, reported Captain Yan-ho, his communications officer. All fleets are in position. The Vorthak have no idea we are here, Kyung-soo nodded. He was a tall man with gray hair and scars on his hands. He had been a young soldier during the last human war before they reached the stars. He remembered what humans could do when they stopped holding back. What is the status of their fleet? He asked. 43 major battle groups, replied Commander Sujin, his tactical officer. 6,000 ships total. They are spread across 17 systems. And our orders? Complete destruction. No survivors who participated in attacking civilians. Kyung-soo's face showed no emotion. Then we begin. All ships exit phase space. Engage the enemy. The human fleet appeared like ghosts becoming solid. One moment, empty space. The next moment, 200 ships of death. They were sleek and black, with weapons that glowed like blue stars dotted the Vorthak homeworld. Admiral Degvar was in his command center when the alarm started screaming. His yellow eyes widened as he stared at the displays. What is happening? he demanded. Ships, sir, his aide replied. Unknown ships appearing throughout our space. How many? Hundreds. They came from nowhere. Thekvar looked at the tactical display. Human ships were appearing near every major Vorthak world. Ships that should not exist. Ships with technology that was impossible. Send a message to General? Korthax, he ordered. Tell him we need reinforcements immediately. Sir, his aide said quietly, General Korthax is not responding. None of our fleets are responding. What do you mean? They are all gone, sir? 17 fleets? All destroyed? Thekvar felt ice in his veins. How is that possible? His answer came as blue light filled the sky. The human ships were firing. But these were not normal weapons. These were quantum cannons that could tear holes. In space itself, the first Vorthok ship to be hit simply disappeared. No explosion, no debris. One moment it was there, the next moment it was gone. Deleted from existence. All ships. Thekvar screamed into his communicator. Engage the humans! Destroy them! The Vorthok fleet opened fire with everything they had. Red beams and missiles flew toward the human ships. But the humans were not there anymore. They had shifted into phase space, becoming invisible and untouchable. Where did they go? A Vorthok captain asked. His answer came as a human ship appeared directly behind him. At point-blank range, it fired a single shot. The Vorthak ship exploded like a dying star. Captain Yuan Ho was leading a strike force against a Vorthok supply. Depot. His ship, the Children's Shield, had been named after the kids who died on New Bissen. He would not let their sacrifice be forgotten. Target the command ship, he ordered his gunner. Sir, they are trying to surrender. Did they accept surrender when they took our children? Yunho replied coldly, Fire. The quantum torpedo struck the Vorthok command ship. It cracked like an egg, spilling atmosphere and bodies into space, but Yunho felt nothing. No satisfaction. No regret, just cold purpose. Meanwhile, Commander Sujin was leading a different kind of attack. Her specialty was boarding actions. She and her soldiers wore armor that could phase through solid matter. They appeared inside Vorthok ships like demons from nightmares. Remember, she told her troops, we are here for the children they took. Find them, save them, kill anyone who tries to stop us. Her soldiers nodded. They were not the peaceful humans the galaxy knew. They were something older. Something that had been sleeping for 50 years. The first Vorthok soldier Sujin encountered was guarding a prison deck. He was standing over a group of terrified human children, his weapon ready to kill them if anyone tried to rescue them. Stay back, he shouted when he saw her. I will kill the young ones. Sujin looked at the children. Some were crying. Some were hurt. All of them were afraid. She thought of her own daughter, safe on Earth, and felt something break inside her chest. No, she said quietly, you will not. She moved faster than the alien eye could follow. Her armor let her phase through. His weapon, through his claws, through his body. When she solidified, she was standing behind him. He fell to the ground, dead. It is okay, she told the children. We are here to take you home. Back on the flagship, Admiral Kyung-soo was watching the battle reports. The Vorthok military was being destroyed faster than his computers could count. 50 years of hidden preparation was paying off. Sir, reported Captain Yanho, we have rescued 800 children from the prison ships. They are being taken to medical facilities. Good. What about the Vorthok civilians? Untouched. Sir, we are only targeting military vessels and those who harm children. Kyung-soo nodded. Even in war, humans tried to be better than their enemies, but his mercy had limits. Sir, said Commander Sujin, the Vorthak government is asking to negotiate. What? Do they offer complete surrender? They will release all prisoners and pay any compensation we demand. Kyung-soo considered this. The smart thing would be to accept. The war was won. But then he thought of the children crying in the underground shelter, the fear in their eyes. The parents who would never see their kids again. Tell them we will consider their offer, he said. After we finish destroying their ability to hurt children ever again, The battle continued for 6 hours. When it was over, the Vorthak military no longer existed. 6,000 ships had been reduced to floating debris. Their weapons factories were gone. Their military bases were empty ruins, but the humans had been careful. They had not destroyed hospitals or schools. They had not targeted civilians. They had been precise in their destruction, surgical in their violence. On New Bizan, Tae-min was holding his daughter Nayun in his arms. She was safe now, but she still had nightmares about the Vorthak soldiers. So Young was recovering from her injuries, but she would live. "Papa," Nayun said, "why did the bad aliens want to hurt us?" Taemin looked up at the sky where human ships were patrolling. "Because they forgot something important, little one." "What did they forget?" "They forgot that parents will do anything to protect their children, anything at all." In the colony, Command Center Colonel Hyam Woo was receiving reports from across the galaxy. The Vorthak threat was over. Their military was destroyed. Their government was begging for mercy. "Sir," asked Lieutenant Jin'e, "what happens now?" Hyam Woo looked at the displays showing peaceful human colonies. Children were playing in parks again. Families were together. The nightmare was over. "Now," he said, "we make sure this never happens again." Across the galaxy, other species were watching the destruction of the Vorthak fleet. They had seen the humans' true power. They had witnessed weapons that could delete ships from existence. They had watched a military that had been hiding for 50 years finally reveal itself. The peaceful humans were gone. In their place stood something far more dangerous. Something that had been pretending to be weak while building weapons that could destroy civilizations. The galaxy would never be the same. The age of human patience was over. The age of human protection had begun, and anyone who threatened human children would learn what happened when you made humanity angry. The lesson was written in the burning wreckage of 6,000 ships. It was a lesson the galaxy would never forget. 1 month after the destruction of the Vorthak fleet, the Galactic Council met again, but everything had changed. The meeting room looked the same, but the people inside were different. They spoke more quietly. They moved more carefully. They watched the human representatives with new eyes filled with fear and respect. Ambassador Dong-ho sat in his usual chair, but he was not the same man who had begged for peace 50 years ago. His diplomatic smile was gone. His soft voice had become hard. The other representatives knew they were no longer dealing with a harmless peacemaker. They were dealing with a predator who had finally shown his teeth. "The first item on today's agenda," Dong-ho announced, "is the new protection protocol for civilian populations." General Zilthik shifted uncomfortably in his seat. His blue skin had become pale since the Vorthak War. "What exactly does this protocol require?" "It is simple," Dong-ho replied. "No military action against civilian targets. No attacks on schools, hospitals, or residential areas. No taking of prisoners under the age of 18. No forced labor of any kind. And if someone breaks these rules?" asked Ambassador Veltar. His tentacles moved nervously as he spoke. Dong-ho's smile was cold as winter. "Then they will face the consequences." "What consequences?" Veltar pressed. "Ask the Vorthak," Dong-ho said quietly. The room became silent. Everyone knew what had happened to the Vorthak. Their entire military had been destroyed in 6 hours. Their government had been forced to relocate to a single world under human supervision. Their remaining population was now under constant watch. "The protocol will be enforced by the new Galactic Defense Force," Dong-ho continued. "Commander Jae-sung will be leading this organization." A new figure stepped forward. Commander Jae-sung was a tall man with sharp eyes and scars on his hands. He wore a simple uniform, but everyone in the room knew what he represented. He was the man who had commanded the secret human fleet, the man who had planned the destruction of the Vorthak. "The defense force will have bases in every major system," Jae-sung said. "We will monitor all military activities. We will respond to any threats against civilian populations." "How will you respond?" asked Counselor Nexhai, the Grayskin representative. "Swiftly," Jae-sung replied. "Completely. Without mercy." The other representatives exchanged worried glances. They had seen what human mercy looked like. It involved quantum weapons and deleted ships. "We do not want to rule the galaxy," Dong-ho said. "We want to protect it. But we will not allow what happened on New Bizan to happen again. Not to humans, not to anyone." "And if we refuse to accept this new order?" General Zilfak asked. Dong-ho stood up slowly. Behind him, Commander Haijin placed her hand on her weapon. The message was clear. "You are free to refuse," Dong-ho said. "But remember what happened to the last species that thought they could hurt children and get away with it." The vote was unanimous. The protection protocol was approved by every member of the council. After the meeting, Dong-ho walked to his private quarters. The walls were covered with pictures of human children. Children from every colony. Children who were now safe because the galaxy had learned to fear humanity. Commander Haijin joined him. "Do you think it will work?" she asked. "For now," Dong-ho replied. "Fear is a powerful teacher, but fear fades with time. We must be ready for the day when someone forgets the lesson. And then we will teach it again." Meanwhile, on New Bizan, life had returned to normal. Children played in the parks. Adults worked in the fields. The sun shone down on the peaceful colony, but now there were differences. Human warships patrolled the sky, defense platforms surrounded the planet, and every adult carried a weapon. Taemin was working in his garden when his daughter Nayun ran up to him. She was 8 years old now, but she still had nightmares about the Vorthek. Soldiers. So Young said the bad dreams would fade with time. "Papa," Nayun said, "why are there so many ships in the sky?" Taemin looked up at the human fleet. Sleek black ships that could appear and disappear like ghosts. Ships that had saved his daughter's life. "They are there to protect us," he said. "To make sure the bad people never come back. Will they stay forever?" "As long as they need to," Taemin replied. "As long as there are people who might hurt children." In the school where So Young taught, things had changed too. The underground shelter was still there, but now it was filled with weapons instead of hiding places. Every teacher knew how to fight. Every classroom had emergency signals that could call for help in seconds. So Young was teaching her class about the new galaxy, about the rules that now protected all children, about the humans who had stopped pretending to be weak. "Why did the humans hide their strength for so long?" asked Minho, a 10-year-old boy. "Because they hoped they would never need to use it," So Young replied. "They wanted to build a world where children could grow up without fear." "But they failed," said the Jinn, a young girl with sad eyes. "No," So Young said firmly. "They succeeded. Look around you, you are safe. All children are safe now." The humans made sure of that. In the capital city of the Zilani Empire, Emperor Krathen was meeting with his military advisors. They were discussing the new reality of galactic politics. "The humans have changed everything," said General Mortek. "They are no longer the weak species we once knew." "How strong are they really?" the Emperor asked. "Stronger than all of us combined," the general replied. "Their technology is 50 years ahead of ours. Their weapons can destroy entire fleets. Their soldiers can appear inside our ships without warning. And their fleet? We estimate 2,000 ships, maybe more. They have been building in secret for decades." The Emperor was quiet for a long moment, then he spoke. "What do they want?" "From us? Nothing," the general said. "They only want to protect children. As long as we follow their rules, they will leave us alone." "And if we break their rules?" The general showed him images of the destroyed Vorthak fleet. Thousands of ships turned to debris. A civilization reduced to refugees. "Then we will join." "The Vorthak," he said quietly. Across the galaxy, similar conversations were happening. The Nethrix Collective was redesigning their military to avoid civilian targets. The Corvani Republic was removing all weapons from their school systems. The Telex Federation was releasing all prisoners under the age of 18. Everyone was learning the same lesson. The humans were no longer asking for peace. They were enforcing it on the prison world where the surviving Vorthek lived. Former General Korthak sat in his cell. His yellow eyes stared at the walls. Remembering the day he had ordered the attack on New Bizan, the day he had demanded human children as slaves, he had thought humans were weak. He had been wrong. A human guard walked past his cell. She was young, maybe 20 years old. She looked at him with cold eyes. "Do you know why you are still alive?" she asked. Korthak said nothing. "Because you are a reminder," she continued. "A reminder of what happens when someone threatens human children. Every species in the galaxy will come here to see you, to remember the lesson." She walked away, leaving Korthax alone with his thoughts. He had learned too late that humans were not sheep. They were wolves. Wolves who had been pretending to be sheep for 50 years, and when someone threatened their cubs, the wolves had remembered what they really were. In a park on the human world of New Earth, a young boy named Jiwoo was playing with his friends. Some were human, some were Zilani, some were Nethrix. All of them were safe. Above them, human warships patrolled the sky. Silent guardians making sure that what happened on New Bizan would never happen again. The galaxy had learned that humanity's greatest strength was not their technology or their weapons or their fury. It was their love for their children. And that love, once betrayed, could move mountains, destroy fleets, and reshape the very order of the cosmos. The age of human patience was over. The age of human protection had begun, and the galaxy was safer. For it, the children could sleep peacefully now, knowing that their guardians were watching, always ready to protect them from anyone who might wish them harm. The lesson had been written in fire and blood across the stars. Never threaten human children. Never forget what happens when you do.